My mother pulled my fiancé aside and whispered, "She's broken, run while you can," claiming my chronic fatigue would ruin his life. She forgot one detail: he's a resident doctor. And when he secretly ran my blood work to see why I was always sick, he didn't find a disease. He found the sedatives she'd been grinding into my food for 10 years to keep control of my $2 million trust. It started on the terrace. The stone was cold under my feet. I remember that. I remember the cold because my circulation was always terrible. "Poor circulation," my mother would say, draping a cashmere shawl over my shoulders like she was covering a corpse. "Poor Elena. Her body just can't keep up." It was my engagement party. Supposedly. If you looked closely, it looked more like her garden party. My mother, Victoria, was wearing a white dress. Cream, she'd insist, but let's be honest. It was white. Backless. She looked like the bride. I was sitting in the corner, in a wheelchair I didn't technically need but was encouraged to use to conserve my energy. I was wearing a shapeless gray linen thing that made me look like a Victorian ghost. I was 26 years old. I felt 80. My head was swimming. That familiar fog. Felt like my brain was wrapped in cotton wool. Thick. Heavy. Suffocating. I blinked, trying to focus on the crystal flute of sparkling water in my hand. My hand was shaking. Just a little tremor. "Oh, sweetie," my stepsister Chloe said, drifting by. She tapped the glass. "Careful. We don't want to spill." Again. She smirked. A tiny, tight little smirk. Chloe was wearing red. Valentino. Brand new. I knew because I'd seen the charge notification pop up on the family iPad before my mother snatched it away. $4,000. "I'm fine," I slurred. I hated that sound. The slur. It wasn't me. Inside my head my voice was crisp. Intelligent. But somewhere between my brain and my tongue the signal got muddy. I sounded drunk. I always sounded drunk. "Sure you are," Chloe whispered. She patted my head. She patted it. Like I was a dog. "Just sit here. Don't try to walk around. You know what happened last time." Last time. The fainting spell at the charity gala. The one where I collapsed into a waiter carrying a tray of champagne. My mother had wept beautifully for the cameras, cradling my head, talking about the tragedy of early onset cognitive decline. I watched Chloe walk away. And then I saw him. Leo. My fiancé. He wasn't mingling. He was standing by the bougainvillea holding a glass of scotch he hadn't touched. He was watching me. Not with pity. Everyone looked at me with pity. Leo looked at me with intensity. Calculation. He was a third-year resident in internal medicine. He specialized in diagnostics. He liked puzzles. And apparently I was the biggest puzzle of his life. I saw my mother glide toward him. She hooked her arm through his. She was smiling, that dazzling, perfect smile that had charmed 3 husbands and a dozen bankers. She leaned in close. Intimate. I couldn't hear them. Not really. The distance was too great and the buzzing in my ears, a side effect of my condition, was too loud. But I saw her lips move. "She's broken." I saw Leo stiffen. I saw him look at her. Then back at me. Then back at her. He didn't pull away. He didn't look shocked. He nodded slowly. My heart sank. A heavy, wet stone dropping into my stomach. He was doing it. He was finally doing it. He was scaring him off. She'd done it to the few friends I'd managed to keep from college. She'd done it to the internship coordinator who wanted to hire me. Elena is fragile. Elena is a liability. Elena needs full-time care. And full-time care meant full-time control of the trust fund my father left behind. I closed my eyes. I waited for Leo to walk over. To give me the sad smile. To say, "Elena, I love you but I can't be a nurse." But he didn't come over. 10 minutes later he found me. "Hey," he said. His voice was low. Controlled. "Did she tell you to run?" I asked. The words came out slow. Leo crouched down. He took my hand. His fingers were warm. He pressed 2 fingers to my wrist, checking my pulse. Automatic habit. "She told me a lot of things," Leo said. "She said you have unspecified neurodegenerative fatigue. She said your kidneys are weak. She said you need a specialized diet that only she can prepare." I looked down at my lap. "She takes good care of me." "Does she?" The question hung in the air. "I'm a burden," I whispered. It was the script I'd been reading for 10 years. Since I was 16. Since the headache started. Since the first time I fell down the stairs. You shouldn't have to deal with this, Leo. I'm useless. Leo squeezed my wrist. Hard. You're not useless, Elle. And I don't think you're sick. My head snapped up. The room spun. What? Shoo. He looked around. My stepfather Greg was near the bar laughing too loudly, his face flushed with expensive gin. Listen to me. I've been watching you for months. The symptoms don't track. They fluctuate too much. You're worse in the evenings. You're worse after meals. You're worse when she's around. Stress, I mumbled. Dr. Aris said it's stress-induced. Dr. Aris is a concierge holistic practitioner on your mother's payroll, Leo said. His voice was sharp. He's not a neurologist. Have you ever seen a real neurologist? At a hospital. I tried to remember. The fog rolled in. I think so. When I was 17. And the scans. Normal. They said it was chemical. Invisible. Leo's jaw tightened. I want a blood sample. Now. I laughed. A dry, pathetic sound. Here? Leo, it's a party. Nobody is looking at us, he said. They're looking at her. He was right. Victoria was center stage holding a microphone now. Making a toast. Talking about her brave, suffering angel, and how she, Victoria, had sacrificed her own youth to be my caregiver. People were clapping. Some were wiping tears. Leo slipped a small butterfly needle and a vacutainer out of his jacket pocket. You brought a needle to our engagement party? I asked. I had a feeling, he said. Give me your arm. Under the shawl. It took 10 seconds. A pinch. A dark red vial filling up. He capped it, pocketed it, and pulled my sleeve down. Don't eat anything else tonight, he whispered. Don't drink anything she hands you. Tell her you're nauseous. Go to bed. Leo, you're scaring me. Good, he said. You should be scared. Just not of the disease. He stood up, kissed my forehead, and walked away. He walked straight past my mother, who tried to grab his arm again. He dodged her. He didn't look back. I sat there, the shawl heavy on my shoulders. I looked at the buffet table. The elaborate spread. The smoothie station where my mother made my vitamin blends every morning and night. Green sludge that tasted like kale and metal. Drink it all, Elena. It's good for your brain. I looked at my stepfather, Greg. He wasn't working. He hadn't worked in 5 years. He called himself an investor. He invested in golf clubs and vintage watches. I looked at the house. My father's house. A sprawling estate in Connecticut. My father, the biotech engineer. He died of a sudden aneurysm when I was 15. He left everything to me. In a trust. A medical trust. I knew the terms, or I thought I did. The money, $20 million in assets, stocks and bonds, was for my benefit. But because I was a minor when he died and then incapacitated when I turned 18, my mother remained the trustee. The guardian. He controlled the flow. As long as I was sick, she was the gatekeeper. She paid the bills. She paid herself a management fee. She lived in the house to care for me. I got better. I got healthy. The money became mine. All of it. I felt a chill that had nothing to do with my circulation. I poured my sparkling water into the planter beside me. And for the first time in 10 years, I didn't take my evening pill. The withdrawal started at 3 a.m. It wasn't subtle. It was violent. I woke up sweating. Soaking wet. My sheets clung to me like a second skin. My heart was hammering against my ribs. Boom, 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 so fast I thought it would explode. Then came the shaking. Not the little tremors I was used to. This was full-body convulsions. My teeth chattered. My bones ached. I lay there in the dark, gripping the mattress. I'm dying, I thought. This is it. The disease finally won. I reached for my phone to call my mother. She was just down the hall. She would come with a cold washcloth and a pill. The blue pill that made the shaking stop. The blue pill that made the world go soft and gray. My hand hovered over the screen. Don't drink anything she hands you. Leo's voice. I pulled my hand back. I dragged myself to the bathroom. I vomited until there was nothing left but bile. I curled up on the cold tile floor. I waited. Hour after hour. The sun came up. I watched the light crawl across the bathroom floor. And then, something strange happened. The buzzing stopped. The constant low-grade static that had been the soundtrack of my life for a decade. Cut out. My vision cleared. I looked at the grout lines on the floor. They were sharp. Distinct. Not blurry. I stood up. I was weak, yes. My muscles were atrophied from years of rest. But my balance was there. I stood on one foot. I didn't tip over. My phone buzzed. A text from Leo. Come to the hospital. Don't tell them. Take an Uber. No. I didn't shower. I threw on jeans and a hoodie. I climbed out the window. I hadn't climbed out a window since I was 14. Back then I was an athlete. A gymnast. I was going to Stanford. My dad and I used to run trails together. I lowered myself onto the trellis. My arms shook but they held. I hit the grass. I ran. I ran to the end of the driveway hidden by the hedges. I called the Uber. When I got to the hospital, Leo was waiting in the parking lot. He looked like he hadn't slept. He was wearing scrubs, his eyes red-rimmed. He didn't say hello. He opened the passenger door of his beat-up Civic and motioned me inside. He handed me a stack of papers. Lab results, he said. I looked at them. Numbers. Graphs. Highs and lows. I don't understand, I said. My voice was raspy but it didn't slur. Look at the toxicology panel, Leo said. He pointed to a line highlighted in yellow. Clonazepam. High dosage. Consistent with long-term use. He pointed to another line. Quetiapine. An antipsychotic. High dosage. And another. Barbiturates. Trace amounts. I stared at the words. I don't take these, I said. I take vitamins. And a mild supplement for circulation. Dr. Aris gives them to me. Elena, Leo said. His voice broke. You are on enough sedatives to knock out a horse. If you weren't so tolerant to them by now, this dose would have killed you. You're not sick. You're stoned. You have been stoned for 10 years. The world tilted. 10 years. My high school graduation. I missed it because I was too dizzy. My college years. I dropped out after one semester because I couldn't focus on the reading. My 20s. Spent in that chair. Watching TV. Sleeping. My father's funeral. I barely remembered it. I just remembered my mother holding me up. She drugged me, I whispered. She poisoned you, Leo corrected. To keep you compliant. To keep you weak. I looked out the window. A woman was walking a dog across the parking lot. Normal life. Just happening. While I had been in a coma. Rage is a funny thing. You think it will feel like fire. Like an explosion. But it didn't feel like that. It felt cold. It felt like ice water in my veins. It felt like absolute crystalline clarity. How much? I asked. What? The trust. How much is left? Leo hesitated. I don't know that part. I'm just the doctor. Take me to the bank, I said. Oh, you're withdrawing. You need fluids. You need to taper off these meds safely or you could seize. I'll seize in the bank lobby then, I said. Take me to the bank. We went to the First National. My father's bank. I walked in. I was wearing dirty jeans and I smelled like sweat, but I walked in with my spine straight. I need to see the trust statements, I told the manager. The Elena Vance Trust. Ms. Vance, the manager said. He looked nervous. He knew my mother. Everyone knew my mother. Usually Victoria handles these requests. Is my name on the account? Well, yes, but... Am I legally an adult? Yes, but your medical status. Do you have a court order declaring me incompetent? I asked. I remembered this from a Law and Order episode I'd watched in my fog. Do you have a guardianship paper signed by a judge? He hesitated. Well, no. It's an informal arrangement based on your condition. Then print the statements, I said. Or I'm calling the police to report theft. He printed them. I sat in Leo's car and read them. The principal was there. Mostly. The stocks had done well. The 20 million was still technically 20 million. But the expenses. Oh, the expenses. Monthly caregiver stipend, $15,000. Paid to Victoria. Home maintenance, $8,000. We hadn't fixed the roof in years. Medical transport, $2,000. Gas money for Greg's Porsche. Consulting fees, $12,000. Chloe's tuition for a fashion course she quit. And the credit cards. Paid off from the trust every month. Neiman Marcus. $4,000. The Ritz-Carlton Cayman Islands. 10,000. Dr. Eris. 5,000 a month. They were eating me alive. Just small bites. Month after month. Year after year. Siphoning off the interest, the dividends, and dipping into the principal whenever they wanted a new toy. $2 million, I said. They've spent $2 million of liquid cash in 5 years. Leo gripped the steering wheel. We go to the police. Right now. No, I said. Leo looked at me. Elena, this is assault. This is fraud. If we go to the police now, I said, she wins. How does she win? She goes to jail. She hires a lawyer with my money, I said. She claims I'm an addict. He claims I stole the pills myself. He claims she was trying to help me. She cries to the jury. He gets probation. Anne, Greg and Chloe keep the jewelry. I looked at the bank statement. I looked at the signature at the bottom. Victoria Vance. I don't want her in jail, I said. I want her destroyed. I want her to lose everything. The status. The friends. The house. The money. I want her to be exactly what she made me, helpless. So what do we do? Leo asked. I looked at him. Take me home. What? Well, I'm not sending you back there. I have to go back, I said. I have to pretend I'm still sick. I have to let her drug me. I won't let you. I won't swallow them, I said. I'll cheek them. I'll spit them out. But I need time. I need to gather evidence. I need to record her doing it. I need to get the power of attorney revoked. I need to build a case so tight that when the trap snaps, it cuts her head off. Leo stared at me. He didn't see the broken bird anymore. He saw something else. Something scary. Can you do it? He asked. Can you act like that again? I thought about the last 10 years. The lost time. The fog. The way Chloe patted my head. Leo, I said. I'm not acting. The sick girl is gone. She died this morning. The hardest part wasn't the withdrawal. The withdrawal was hell. I spent the next 2 weeks trembling. My skin felt like it was crawling with ants. I had headaches that blinded me. But I hid it. I told my mother it was a flare-up. He loved that. Oh, poor baby, she cooed, smoothing my hair. It's the excitement of the engagement. It was too much for you. He brought me the smoothie. The green sludge. Drink up, she said. I sat in my bed. I looked at her. Really looked at her. She was beautiful. Aging, yes, but expensive. Her skin was tight from lasers. Her hair was perfect. She looked at me with eyes that were completely dead. There was no love there. There was only ownership. I was an asset. A golden goose with a broken wing. I took the glass. Thanks, Mom, I slurred. I let my hand tremble so some of it sloshed onto the duvet. Elena, she snapped. The mask slipped for a second. That's goose down. Sorry, I whispered. Weak. She sighed. The martyr sigh. She went to the bathroom to get a towel. In that 3-second window, I poured the smoothie into the hollowed-out cactus planter on my nightstand. Leo had given me the cactus. He'd drilled a hole in the bottom and put a jar inside the pot. When she came back, I was wiping my mouth holding the empty glass. Better, she asked. Sleepy, I said. My eyelids fluttered. Good girl. She kissed my forehead. Felt like a brand. For 3 weeks I played the game. The gray rock. I was boring. I was pathetic. I drooled. I stumbled. I wet the bed once just to really sell it. Water bottle, not urine, but she didn't check closely. She just called the maid to clean it up, complaining about the smell. While she was at her tennis lessons, I was working. Leo bought the cameras. Tiny things. Pinhole lenses. I installed one in the kitchen, pointed at the smoothie station. I installed one in the study, pointed at the safe. I installed one in the living room where she drank wine with Greg and bragged. I needed the safe combination. I knew she kept the original trust documents in there. And the medical journal she kept. A fake log of my symptoms to show doctors. I waited. It happened on a Tuesday. I was napping on the sofa in the library. Greg came in. He went to the safe behind the painting. A cliché, I know, but these people had no imagination. I watched through my eyelashes. Left 40. Right 12. Left 8. He took out a stack of cash. My cash. Heading to the track? Chloe asked, walking in. Investment opportunity, Greg said, winking. Mom's gonna be pissed if you drain the liquid account again, Chloe said. Mom doesn't need to know, Greg said. Besides, the vegetable isn't going to live forever. We need to maximize yield while we can. The vegetable. I lay perfectly still. I slowed my breathing. I didn't kill him. Not yet. That night when they were asleep, I opened the safe. I didn't take the money. I took photos. I found the original trust deed. I found the doctor's notes from Dr. Eris. And I found something else. A prenup draft. For me and Leo. My mother had drafted it. It stated that due to my condition, Leo would waive all rights to my assets, and Victoria would remain the sole executor of the estate indefinitely, even after marriage. She was going to make me sign it. Probably tell me it was a birthday card or a medical release form. I took a picture of that too. Then came the trap. I knew she was getting greedy. She wanted to renovate the guest house. For Elena, she told people. So she can have independence nearby. Really, she wanted a pool house for her parties. She needed $200,000. She brought the papers to me on a Thursday morning. Sweetie, she said. We need to sign some forms for the bank. Just routine maintenance for the trust. I sat at the kitchen table. I looked at the paper. It was a withdrawal authorization. I don't understand, I said, putting on my best confused face. You don't need to understand, she said, her voice tight. Just sign here. But, Leo said. Her head snapped up. What did Leo say? Leo said I shouldn't sign anything without him. Victoria's eyes narrowed. Leo isn't your husband yet. I am your mother. I know what's best. I know, I said. But, my hand hurts. I dropped the pen. He picked it up. He shoved it into my hand. He was squeezing my fingers hard. It hurt. Sign the damn paper, Elena. I looked at the kitchen cabinet. The red light on the hidden camera blinked once. Invisible to her. Bright as a lighthouse to me. You're hurting me, I whimpered. Sign it, she hissed. Do you think this life is free? Do you think your medicine is free? You are a leech, Elena. A useless, broken leech. I gave up my life for you. The least you can do is sign the check. But I signed it. But I signed it Elena Vance. I misspelled my own name. The bank would reject it. She'd be furious. She'd have to come back. But by then it would be too late. The engagement party, the real one, was in 2 days. This wasn't the garden party. This was the gala. The formal event at the country club. 300 guests. The mayor. The hospital board. All of Victoria's friends. It was the perfect stage. I spent the day before the party with my stylist. Victoria had picked out a dress for me. Beige. Heineck. Long sleeves. To hide my frailty. I took it to a tailor in the city. Leo drove me. Cut it, I said. Where? The tailor asked. Everywhere, I said. Take off the sleeves. Lower the neck. Tighten the waist. Slit the leg. Ms. Vance, the tailor said. This is aggressive. I want to look alive, I said. The morning of the party I was terrified. Not of the plan. The plan was solid. I was terrified of being me. I hadn't been a person in public for 10 years. I had been a prop. Leo came over to check my vitals. He slipped a USB drive into my hand. It's all there, he said. The video of the smoothie. The toxicology report. The audio of her calling you a leech. The bank statements. Did you give a copy to the police? Detective Miller is invited, Leo said. He's coming as my +1. He's seen the evidence. He's just waiting for the signal. What's the signal? You'll know. The party was obscene. Lobster towers. Champagne fountains. A string quartet playing pop covers. My mother was in gold. Literal gold lame. She looked like an Oscar statue that had come to life and learned to hate. Greg was drunk by 6 p.m. Chloe was wearing white, tacky, and flirting with the mayor's son. I made my entrance at 7 o'clock. I didn't use the wheelchair. I walked in. The room went quiet. Ripples of silence spreading out from the door. I was wearing the beige dress, but it wasn't beige anymore. It was champagne. It was fitted. My shoulders were bare. My back was straight. I was wearing heels. 3-inch stilettos. My mother froze mid-laugh. Her glass tilted. Elena, she said. Her voice was high. Panicked. What are you doing? Where is your chair? I felt better today, I said. My voice was clear. It carried across the room. You should sit down, she hissed, rushing over. She grabbed my arm. Her nails dug in. You're making a scene. You look manic. I'm fine, mother, I said, pulling my arm away. I walked to the bar. Sparkling water, please. No ice. People were staring, whispering. Is that the sick girl? She looks amazing. Thought she was dying. I mingled. I talked to people. I remembered names. I asked the mayor about his golf handicap. I asked the hospital board chairman about the new wing. My mother shadowed me the whole time. Hovering. Terrified. You're acting strange, she whispered in my ear. Did you take your medicine? Double dose, I lied. Then why are you awake? Maybe I'm building a tolerance, I said. I smiled at her. A shark smile. Maybe I'm just happy. The speeches started at 8 o'clock. Victoria went up to the podium. He loved a microphone. Welcome everyone, she said. We are here to celebrate Leo and my sweet fragile Elena. She did the sad face. The tilt of the head. It hasn't been an easy road, she said. There were days I didn't think we'd make it here. Days when the darkness threatened to take my baby girl away. She wiped a fake tear. But love, she said, love is a powerful medicine. And a mother's love is the strongest of all. Applause. Greg clapped the loudest. I have prepared a little video, she said. A tribute to Elena's journey. She pointed to the massive projection screen behind her. The lights dimmed. Music started. Sarah McLachlan. In the arms of an angel. I almost laughed out loud. Photos appeared. Me in the hospital. Me in the wheelchair. Me looking pale and ghostly. I looked at Leo. He was standing by the AV booth. He nodded. He hit the space bar on the laptop. The music cut out. The screen went black for a second. Then a new video started. It was grainy. Black and white. Night vision. It was a kitchen. My kitchen. Victoria was there. She was wearing her silk robe. She was humming. She opened a bottle of pills. She poured a handful into a mortar and pestle. Grind, grind, grind. The sound was amplified. Sounded like bones breaking. She scooped the powder into the blender. She added kale. She added yogurt. Drink up, little piggy, the Victoria on the screen said. She laughed. The room went dead silent. On stage, Victoria froze. She looked at the screen. She looked at the crowd. What is this? She laughed nervously. Is this a joke? Leo. The video changed. It was the bank statement. Highlighted in red. Neiman Marcus. $4,200. Porsche leasing. $1,800. Caregiver salary. $15,000. Then the toxicology report. Clonazepam. Toxic levels. Quetiapine. Toxic levels. A voiceover started. It was my voice. Strong. My name is Elena Vance. For 10 years I have been drugged by my mother to induce symptoms of cognitive failure. This was done to maintain her guardianship over my $20 million trust. Gasps. Someone dropped a glass. Clattered. Victoria screamed. Turn it off. Turn it off. She ran toward the AV booth. Sit down, Victoria. A deep voice boomed. It was the mayor. He looked disgusted. The video continued. It showed Greg opening the safe. It showed Chloe laughing about my drooling. It showed the leech conversation. You are a leech, Elena. A useless, broken leech. The video ended with a photo of me. Today. Standing on the trellis outside my window. Looking like a warrior. The lights came up. Victoria was standing in the middle of the dance floor. She looked small. She looked old. He turned to me. Her eyes were wild. Elena, she said. Baby. This is a misunderstanding. It's a deep fake. AI. You know how technology is. She reached for me. Don't touch her, Leo said. He stepped between us. Leo, she pleaded. You're a doctor. You know how sick she is. She's delusional. She made this up. I am a doctor, Leo said. That's why I ran the blood work. He held up the file. The real file. This is the police report, Leo said. And the toxicology results from a third-party lab. Victoria looked at the door. Detective Miller walked in. He wasn't drinking champagne. He was holding handcuffs. Victoria Vance, he said. Gregory Vance. Greg tried to run. He actually tried to run toward the patio doors. He tripped over a cable and face-planted into the wedding cake. It was slapstick. It was perfect. 2 officers picked him up, frosting on his face. Detective Miller walked up to my mother. "You have the right to remain silent," he said. She didn't remain silent. She screamed. She screamed that I was an ungrateful brat. She screamed that she earned that money. She screamed that I would be dead without her. As they dragged her out, she locked eyes with me. "You're nothing without me," she shrieked. "You're broken. You're nothing." I stood there, my champagne dress shimmering, my fiancé holding my hand, my mind clear as a bell. "I'm rich," I said. "And I'm free." The fallout was messy. I'm not going to lie and say it was a fairy tale ending immediately. The legal battle took 6 months. Victoria fought from jail. She tried to claim insanity. She tried to claim I was the mastermind who framed her. But the evidence was too much. The videos. The blood work. The sheer volume of theft. She got 15 years. Fraud, embezzlement, assault and poisoning. Greg got 5 years for conspiracy and theft. Chloe turned state's witness. She testified against her mother to avoid jail time. She told the jury everything. How they laughed about it. How they planned the spending. I didn't hate her for it. I just pitied her. She was a rat on a sinking ship. She works at a Sephora in New Jersey now. I assume she's still stealing lipstick. I had to go to rehab. Not for addiction but for dependency. My body had to learn how to function without the chemical soup she'd fed me. I had tremors for months. I had night terrors. But Leo was there. Every night. Holding my hand. Reminding me who I was. "You're Elena Vance," he'd say. "You climbed out a window. You brought down a Goliath. We sold the house. I couldn't live there. Too many ghosts. Too much green sludge in the pipes. We bought a place in the city. A loft with big windows and no stairs. I went back to school. Not for gymnastics, my knees were shot from the atrophy, but for law. I wanted to specialize in guardianship abuse. I wanted to help other broken birds." 6 months after the party, I was sitting in our new kitchen. It was morning. The sun was streaming in. I was making a smoothie. Strawberries. Bananas. Almond milk. No powder. Leo walked in. He kissed the back of my neck. "Mail's here," he said. He tossed a letter on the counter. It was from the trust. The Elena Vance Revocable Trust. Trustee, Elena Vance. I opened it. The final accounting after the asset recovery. We'd gotten most of it back. We seized Victoria's jewelry, Greg's cars, the hidden offshore accounts. Balance, $18,450,000. I looked at the number. It was just money. Couldn't buy back my 20s. It couldn't buy back the memories I'd lost to the fog. But it could buy the future. "Hey," Leo said. "You okay?" I took a sip of my smoothie. It tasted sweet. It tasted real. I looked at my hands. They weren't shaking. "I'm not just okay," I said. "I'm dangerous." Leo laughed. He knew it was true. The parasites were gone. The fog was lifted. I wasn't broken. I never was. I was just waiting for the right moment to wake up. And now that I was awake, I wasn't going to miss a single second.